live technical support. I'll get the live streams going here. You're listening to a Faster PC live technical support. We're heard every Saturday at 10:07 here on WPSL, also streaming live to our Facebook page and our YouTube channels. The streams are going. If you want to watch the streams, you can actually head over to our website of fasterpc.com, and you right at the top of the page, there's a red button that says Live Technical Support. Click on that button, and that will take you to our Live Technical Support page. On the left side, you can actually see various ways you can schedule live technical support with a Faster PC technician. On the right-hand side, you'll see various ways that you can listen to and watch a Faster PC live technical support. And of course, we're here. We're ready to answer your computer questions today. If you have questions, you can give us a call, 772-340-1590, 772-340-1590, or type your questions into the comment section of one of the live videos. You know, throughout the week, you can type your question into one of the videos that we've had in the past. And, you know, if you have questions that you want us to cover on a future video, and we will actually cover it on a future show or a future video. So we do have a caller on the line. Do want to let you know some of the things that we are going to be going over today as well. We will be going over, of course, the biggest and most critical cybersecurity threats. We'll also talk about how you can watch NFL football games this weekend and also in the playoffs. And we will, if we have time, we'll start talking about how to transfer data from your old computer to your new computer. We do have a video out on that. We also have a video out on how to watch the college football playoffs. So if you haven't seen that, we actually rolled out an individual video this week for that. And of course, you know, in a few weeks, you'll have maybe a week or two, you'll have more games coming up, and you may want to watch that. So we're going right to the lines right now, though. We have Daniel on the line. Welcome to a Faster PC Live Technical Support, Daniel. How can we help you today?
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
My computer has been working great for many years, but recently, when you boot it up, once in a while, it boots up, it displays the desktop properly, but the cursor is frozen. The mouse will not move it around, nor any key stroke will do anything. You just can't do anything with it. You have to do a forced power down, and when it's rebooted, it normally comes up right.
Okay, so this is, and this is on your computer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you have problems like this, your computer is locking up. Obviously, you mentioned it has worked fine in the past, but it's not working fine now. You know, it's kind of like a car. Sometimes people tell us, well, you know, it used to work great. Well, you know, I mean, we all have that happen where, especially when you have moving parts, sometimes things can break. And really, you need to determine what is causing the problem with your computer. And if you have a platter hard drive, there's a very good chance that the drive is failing. And sometimes when drives fail, you get errors, you get lockups, you get blue screen errors. Sometimes the computer just slows down. Sometimes
I have a solid state drive.
Okay, so good. You have a solid state drive, so that's a good thing. You know, another thing that can cause that problem is RAM. RAM can cause, you know, a RAM error can cause that type of problem. You know, sometimes we see issues where the computer's too hot, and that can cause that type of problem. So, you know, sometimes applying new thermal paste to the CPU, making sure that there's no dust that's blocking cooling. What typically happens with computers, and I don't recall whether your computer is a laptop or a desktop or an all-in-one. Do you know?
It's a desktop.
Okay, so with a desktop computer, typically you're going to have the CPU, which is stands for the Central Processing Unit. That does all the mathematical calculations on the computer, and really everything you see on a computer is mathematical calculations. You're looking at ones and zeros, really. I mean, it's kind of a little bit mind-boggling when you think about that everything, all the visuals, everything you see is ones and zeros, and the CPU is what's actually doing the calculation there to determine that. So with the CPU, what you actually have is the CPU gets hot, and so as it gets hot, then you actually have it actually has a heat sink on top of it that is typically made out of aluminum and has fins, and so the heat is dissipated from the bottom of the heat sink. Sometimes the bottom of the heat sink is actually brass, and which is able to absorb the heat more quickly and more rapidly, and then you'll actually have it transferring over to the aluminum, and you'll have thin fins, and then you have a fan on the top of that. So sometimes you can get some dust in there that blocks the airflow over those fins from the fans. Sometimes the fans can stop working. You can have problems with the motherboard as well. The CPU plugs into the motherboard, the RAM plugs into the motherboard, almost everything plugs into the motherboard. And so, it's possible that the motherboard could be causing a problem there as well. We do have some hardware diagnostics, and typically it's rare, but sometimes there's errors with SSD drives. We can test the drive, whether it's an SSD or a platter hard drive. We can test that, make sure it's running properly. We also have diagnostics where we can run and test the RAM. So RAM stands for random access memory, and what you're looking at with that random access memory is you're looking at being able to, well, that memory, everything like your operating system, portions of your operating system, and the programs that you load, and the data that you're working with, maybe the files or the web pages that you're at, portions of that load into RAM, and if you're having a problem with the RAM, you can have random errors. And so it is important to make sure that the RAM is functioning properly, that you're not getting any errors. We actually have a computer in the shop right now. It's a gaming computer, and the computer was working fine, but then it stopped working fine. And when it stopped working fine, sometimes it was going to I think when it came in, we weren't getting any video at all, but now we're getting video on it, but it still is locking up. But we're testing with other RAM, and we have found errors with the RAM, and so we're testing with other RAM and just working to get that where it's actually running and operating fine. Now, some computers do have a video card. Other computers, the video is built onto the motherboard, part of either the Northbridge or the CPU. Quite often on a lot of modern processors that are not super high end, you'll actually have video built into the processor itself. And so that actually can, you can have problems there, but again, that would be a part of the processor, or on a computer that has a standalone video card, the video cards can cause errors as well. So, really part of it, it's difficult to know exactly why your computer is locking up, but those are, basically, you have a few different components there. You have the motherboard, you have the CPU, you have the RAM, you have the drive itself, and occasionally you can have software errors that are causing a problem, and maybe the hardware is all working good and it's just software corruption. But typically when you see a problem like what you're describing, where the computer just totally locks up, typically you are looking at a hardware failure that's causing that. And so, again, the process is to determine what is causing that. And then at that point, you need to determine, well, how much is it going to cost to fix it? Because if we're actually looking at replacing a component, how much does that component cost? And would it be better to replace it with the same component, or would it be better to replace it with a newer component? Like for instance, if it is your motherboard or your CPU, well, how much is that going to cost? And would it make more sense to either replace the computer or replace the CPU with a newer CPU? And quite often when you're looking at that, you're also looking at replacing the motherboard and the RAM as well, because most likely the new CPU is not going to work in your motherboard, and most likely the new motherboard would require new RAM as well. Although sometimes we can match up the RAM. But that's really what your decision is, because sometimes it's very affordable to replace the component that's damaged, and other times, well, we need to spend a little bit more time, and maybe it's a little bit more money than what you want to spend on that computer. So the question is, do you first of all, finding the problem, finding what's causing it, and then going from there, you want to find how much it's going to cost to replace that, and then you want to actually determine how much that's going to cost, and then you have to make a determination and a decision. Is it worth it to repair this and to keep it in its current state, to upgrade it, or even to replace the entire computer altogether? Anyway, if you need help with any of this, you need a faster PC. We can help you. I know, Daniel, you know where we are, and our number is 772-878-5978.
You're listening to a Faster PC radio here, heard every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour right here on this station and stream live to our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, ready to answer your computer questions. So you know what? If you have questions, well, we can't answer them unless you ask them. Our number, if you want to have your computer questions answered, is 772-340-5090, 772-340-5090. Also, you can type your questions into the comment section of our live Facebook video that's happening right now over at Facebook. You can go there, search for a Faster PC. We have almost 23,000 likes, or you just go to our website, afasterpc.com, click on the link to listen to a Faster PC radio. We're here. We're ready to answer your computer questions, and we'll be right back to do that. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. You're listening to a Faster PC radio here, heard every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour right here on this station and stream live to our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, ready to answer your computer questions. So you know what? If you have questions, well, we can't answer them unless you ask them. Our number, if you want to have your computer questions answered, is 772-340-5090, 772-340-5090. Also, you can type your questions into the comment section of our live Facebook video that's happening right now over at Facebook. You can go there, search for a Faster PC. We have almost 23,000 likes, or you just go to our website, afasterpc.com, click on the link to listen to a Faster PC radio. We're here. We're ready to answer your computer questions, and we'll be right back to do that. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. Hackers are constantly looking for ways to break into your computer and network to access your data and hold it hostage. Think this can't happen to you? Think again. Hackers regularly target small businesses. A Faster PC has produced a cybersecurity crisis report that goes over urgent and critical protections every small business must have in place now to protect their bank accounts, client data, confidential information, and reputation from the tsunami of cybercrime. To access this report, give us a call at 772-878-5978 or download the report today at
www.fastpc.com. .com.
That's www.afasterpc.com. Cybersecurity problems?
You need a faster PC.
A Faster PC is located at 7190 South US 1 in Port St. Lucie, next to Dollar General.
To access this report, give us a call at 772-878-5978 or download the report today at afasterpc.com.
You need a faster PC.
772-878-5978. Welcome back to A Faster PC Radio. I know you've been waiting, well, a whole few minutes for the next segment of today's show. If you've been waiting to give us a call so that you can get your computer question answered, well, now's a great time to give us a call. Give us a call. The number here at the studio is 772-340-1590, 772-340-1590. Of course, if you're a little bit shy, maybe you don't want to call and be on the radio. This is your opportunity, by the way, if you do want to be on the radio. But if you're a little bit shy, maybe you don't want to be on the radio, you don't want people to hear what you say, then you can actually head over to our Facebook video. It's a live Facebook video going on right now. You can head over there. Just go to www.afasterpc.com. Click on the link to listen to A Faster PC Radio. That'll take you to our Facebook page, or you can go to Facebook, search for A Faster PC. You'll find our page. We have between 22 and 23,000 likes. You'll be able to actually get over there, scroll down on the page a little bit. You'll see the live video, and you can type your question into the comment section. Now, your question doesn't have to be on what we've been talking about. It can be on any topic as long as it's computer related. So head over there and you can be on the show, or just give us a call, 772-340-1590. We did also want to remind you that we have technicians standing by, ready to resolve computer problems. Our number in the shop is 772-878-5978, and we are located at 7190 South US 1 in Port St. Lucie. Again, the number is 772-878-5978. Computer problems?
You need a faster PC.
Yes, you do. And we are back ready to answer your computer, technical, streaming, and cybersecurity questions. If you have a question, you want the answer, 772-340-1590 is the number. You can also type in your questions into the comment section of our live videos that are going on right now over at Facebook and YouTube. And you can actually head over there and see that. Now, one thing that we do want to go over is we want to go over actually how to watch games, NFL games, this weekend. And also, if we have time, we'll cover how to watch them in the playoffs as well. Because really, there's a lot at stake, and this is a really exciting, if you're an NFL football fan, this is an exciting time of the year. Even though a lot of teams have been officially eliminated, there is a lot at stake. And I'm sure that Ray and Bonnie and Mr. G and everyone else that's in the Lenny's Pick'em League are really paying attention to this week, because there's a lot that will be covered and decided this particular week, including the number one seed in the AFC, the number one seed in the NFC. Also, the AFC North title will be decided, and big stakes, yes. And so you also have the AFC South title that will be decided, the NFC South title that will be decided, the NFC West title. Of course, on the other side of the flip coin here, who's going to get the number one pick? Well, that's going to be decided this weekend also. So one of the things that's really, really neat about the schedule this week, and the NFL has flipped the schedule and moved games around, and a lot of these games are actually available on over the air with a digital antenna. So if you have a digital antenna, well, you're in luck this week, because most of the games you'll be able to actually watch with an over-the-air digital antenna. Now, when I say that, there are different types of antennas. You can get antennas that you just put on the wall or put in your window, and those will get you some of the games. And depending on where you live, if you're close enough to the station and to the tower, you might be able to pick it up, but you're not going to be able to pick up all of the stations. In fact, to pick up all the stations, really, you're going to need an outdoor antenna. You're going to need it on a 20-foot pole, most likely. We have had some customers that have had really good success with an outdoor antenna actually inside their house. You could point it through the window, but sometimes you have to realize that the antennas need to be aimed toward the tower. But you have games that are on ESPN, and we went over last week how you can watch ESPN, and I believe that those games also will be aired on ABC as well. I may be mistaken on that, but earlier in the week I thought that that's what they had said with that. But if they're only on ESPN, well, they're only on ESPN, and that's the only way you can get them. There are games on Sunday on Fox, on CBS, and of course you're only going to get, in each time slot, you're only going to get one game on those channels. If you want to be able to watch all the games, well, you need NFL Plus Premium, or you can actually even sign up for the NFL Sunday Ticket, which is less expensive this time of the year. Then you go to the Sunday night game, the Ravens and the Steelers. I'm a Steelers fan. The Steelers really dropped a big bomb last week. Just totally a team that had only won 4 games, blew them out of the water, kind of. The Browns, they lost to the Browns. So now this week determines which of these teams goes home and which of the teams goes into the playoffs. And that will be on NBC. A lot of these, NBC does have a streaming platform. CBS has a streaming platform. Fox now has a streaming platform. Of course, ESPN has a streaming platform. And you can actually watch these games with that. Of course, if you get the NFL Plus Premium, very affordable this time of the year if you want to watch just through the end of the season. And you can watch, really with the NFL Plus, you can watch the games live on a mobile device, which you may also be able to screencast over to your television. So that's a trick that you can try. However, you can watch, if you have NFL Plus Premium, you can watch all of the games after the fact, and you can even watch them. One of the things that is kind of interesting to do this time of the year, especially there's been a few years where my team, the Steelers, just wasn't going to be in the playoffs. They had missed it. So the last week of the year, I watched games in condensed version. In a condensed version, you can watch a game in like 45 to 55 minutes. But you really have to pay attention because they just show from the beginning of the first play to the end of the first play. Then they jump to the beginning of the second play. They cut out a lot of the analysis. You don't see any halftime. They don't even tell you that they're going to the third quarter. You just have to pay attention and know that they're going to the third quarter. But you can watch the games really, really quick. And it's a really quick and exciting way to do that. Now, going into the playoffs, there's some things that you need to know about how to watch games in the playoffs. So if you want to watch games in the playoffs, here's the thing. A lot of times we're talking about how to watch games without cable TV. Well, some of the games in the playoffs you will not be able to watch with cable TV. That's right. Some of the games will require a streaming service. And some of these games are, excuse me, some of these games actually are going to be streaming on Prime, Amazon Prime. Other games will be on CBS or Fox, which is aired over the air with you can pick that up with a broadcast antenna. Some of the games will be aired on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, ESPN Select Unlimited. So those games you can pick up with cable TV. Of course, the Amazon Prime games you will not be able to pick up with cable TV. You also have the NBC games will be also streamed to Peacock. And, if you have ESPN Unlimited, you'll be able to pick up the ESPN apps. Also, CBS has Paramount Plus. Fox now has a streaming platform that you can subscribe to. Of course, you can get all of these games again with NFL Plus Premium if you want to watch them after the fact, or you can actually go with a streaming, really a cable TV streaming substitute package. And we've gone over those in the past. However, you're not going to get the Prime Video games with that. You're going to have a Prime subscription to watch those NFL Prime games. So this is really something that you want to actually look at and watch. If you're interested in watching these games, you'll be able to watch a lot of them actually over the air. In fact, the Super Bowl will be aired on NBC, also streamed on Peacock. And, Peacock actually comes free with some services. I even saw that Comcast has some internet deals now where they're giving away 2 years of Peacock for free. And it's Peacock, it's like their premium version of Peacock. So with certain Comcast deals, and it is a 2-year, well, I think it's actually a 5-year guaranteed price. Not sure if it's a 5-year that you're locked into a contract for 5 years, but you get Peacock for two of those years. And we have mentioned also that Paramount Plus, which is CBS's streaming platform, that actually comes free with a Walmart Plus subscription. So if you have a Walmart Plus subscription, maybe for shipping, maybe so that you can get, your Walmart groceries or other items from Walmart delivered without having to pay shipping, then you can actually unlock. And we've shown you how to do that in some previous videos, showing you how to unlock those games so that you can actually watch that. Now, you also have, in addition to that, you do have, again, some of the games that will be on Amazon Prime. Of course, you'll have to have a subscription to watch those. If there's a game out there, by the way, Amazon does have they do have a trial. So, if there's one game that you want to watch and maybe you don't want to watch it after that, you could sign up for the trial. And, it doesn't cost very much. But a lot of people do have Amazon Prime subscriptions already so that they can get free shipping on Amazon deliveries. And if you have that already, you already have the ability to watch these games. And again, that is completely free. So the, when you get into toward the end of the season, you're going to be getting into CBS, Paramount. Some of the AFC Championship will be on CBS, also streamed on Paramount Plus. You'll have the NFC Championship, which is going to be aired on Fox. Again, over-the-air antenna, you can get that. And but you can also get it with Fox One, which is their subscription app. And then, some of the games, one of the interesting things is that there are some games in the playoffs that will actually be Monday night games. And so this is going to be very interesting to have a Monday night game, and it will be aired on ESPN, also on ABC. And again, you can, with the right digital antenna, you can probably pick that up for free, or you can actually subscribe to ESPN Unlimited or have a cable TV substitute package. Or, of course, if you are on cable TV, you'll be able to watch that as well. So, and then, you do again have the Super Bowl that will be aired on NBC and also streamed to Peacock. So that's how you can watch these games this week and also in the playoffs. And you'll be able to actually, now you know how you can do it, even if you don't have cable TV. By the way, stay tuned in the upcoming weeks. We'll actually be going over a little bit of a case study. We have a customer that is spending almost $370 a month on internet, a phone line, and his cable service, and he's about to actually cut the cord, and he's going to have to keep internet, but we're going to be bringing his bill down considerably, and he's going to be cutting out his cable TV subscription, and he'll be doing it in a way that he'll be able to actually watch everything that he wants to watch without paying quite as much money. He'll still have to pay money, but he's not going to be paying $368 a month. But we'll be going over that. I'm going to be actually setting that up on Tuesday. So you'll want to stay tuned to that for the future. We will also, in upcoming weeks, I'll just maybe go over it just real quickly right now, but we will also be going over how you can actually take your data from your old computer and how you can actually transfer that over to a new computer. So that's something that we are going to be covering. I know we've been talking about covering it here, and it's something that we will be going over at some point in the future, in the near future. We'll be going over it. We just haven't quite had a chance to do it with the calls that have come in and the questions that have come in, but we'll be going over that so that you can actually see how you can actually transfer data. And what are we talking about with data? We're talking about pictures. We're talking about Word documents, Excel documents. We're talking about PDF documents, maybe your tax returns. Again, family pictures, family photos. If you have videos on your computer, how do you get those from your old computer? If you've just gotten a new computer recently, how do you get those from your old computer over to your new computer? We will cover that in an upcoming show. And coming up next, we'll go over the biggest, most critical cybersecurity threats of this past week. So that, and by the way, just because it was a holiday weekend a holiday week doesn't mean that there wasn't any of that. And you'll want to stay tuned to that. Our number in our shop is 772-878-5978, and our website is afasterpc.com.
You're listening to a Faster PC radio heard on this station every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back for the final segment of today's show. Listen, if you want to get your computer questions answered and you haven't called in, now's your opportunity. In fact, this is your last opportunity coming up. 772-340-1590. 772-340-1590. You can also head over to our Facebook page, and you can actually, from the Facebook page, you can type your computer questions into the comment section of the live video, and we'll cover them on today's show. But you know what? You've got to get over there right now or give us a call, 772-340-1590, so we can answer your computer questions. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. You're listening to a Faster PC radio heard on this station every Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back for the final segment of today's show. Listen, if you want to get your computer questions answered and you haven't called in, now's your opportunity. In fact, this is your last opportunity coming up. 772-340-1590. 772-340-1590. You can also head over to our Facebook page, and you can actually, from the Facebook page, you can type your computer questions into the comment section of the live video, and we'll cover them on today's show. But you know what? You've got to get over there right now or give us a call, 772-340-1590. So we can answer your computer questions. Computer problems? You need a Faster PC. The one thing we hate to hear after someone's hard drive dies is, I was just about to make a backup. Just about is not good enough. At a Faster PC, we can recover data from family hard drives, but not all the time. And we can't recover your data if it's stolen or destroyed by fire, unless you have a backup.
we can't recover your data if it's encrypted with ransomware unless you have a backup. A faster PC can protect your data from loss by hard drive failure, fire, theft, sabotage, and ransomware. Don't wait until it's too late.
You need a faster PC.
When your data is important,
You need a faster PC.
A faster PC is located at 7190 South US 1 in Port St. Lucie, next to Dollar General.
and on the web at
www.fastpc.com.
that's www.afasterpc.com. When you can't lose your data,
Don't you know by now you need a faster PC?
give us a call today at 772-878-5978. Welcome back to A Faster PC Radio. This is the last segment of today's show. We'd love to answer your computer questions, but if you don't call, we can't answer. Give us a call. The number to have your computer question answered is 772-340-1590, 772-340-1590, or you can hop on over to our Facebook page, A Faster PC, and actually from there, you can type your question into the comment section. So again, just a few more minutes to answer your questions. We did want to remind you also that not only can you ask your questions at the Facebook page or by calling 772-340-1590, but you can also watch the video as well. So some of the questions that I'm answering, as I answer those questions, I'll be able actually to show you the steps that you go through to resolve computer problems. And if you're not where you can watch it right now, that's fine. You can watch it at your convenience shortly after the show's over. It'll be up there on our Facebook page. You can get there one of two ways. Either go to our website, afasterpc.com. We have a link that says listen to A Faster PC Radio. If you click on that, it'll take you to our Facebook page, or go to Facebook and search for A Faster PC. We also wanted to remind you that in the shop, we have technicians standing by today to work on computers and resolve computer problems. We're at 7190 South US 1, and our number in the office is 772-878-5978. And of course, we're here to answer your questions. Well, your computer questions, and we could answer other questions, but we're here specifically to answer computer questions. Computer problems? You need a faster PC. Yes, you do, and we are back ready to answer your computer, technical, streaming, and cybersecurity questions. If you have questions, you can give us a call, 772-340-1590. If we get a question in this segment, listen, we're still going to go over the biggest, most critical security threats. We may have to roll that out to a separate segment, we just continue the show. I mean, we can't do it on the radio because there's another show coming up at 11 a.m. I know there are people that want to listen to that, and those people are the sponsors are paying for that show. But we can roll it out on the live stream, so we can always do that, and sometimes we do if we need to. But right now, we're actually going to be going over the biggest, most critical cybersecurity threats of this past week. What if I told you that the people you trust to protect you from hackers actually sometimes become hackers themselves? That's right. Sometimes that happens. We're going to go over a story where that happened even in the U.S. I mean, this happens in third world countries, but it can happen in the U.S. as well. Today, we're covering a wave of cybersecurity incidents that hit this past week. And honestly, some of these stories are going to shock you. We've got cybersecurity experts turning to the dark side, a password manager breach from 3 years ago that's still causing damage today. Why? Because the people didn't change their passwords. And a malware campaign that infected 28 million people. Whether you're a business owner or just someone who uses a computer at home, these threats affect you. So stick around until the end, because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to protect yourself against these threats. So we're starting with a story that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but it's 100% real. 2 U.S. cybersecurity experts pleaded guilty to participating in Black Cat ransomware attacks. Let that sink in for a second. These weren't hackers who learned their trade in some dark corner of the internet. They were professionals, people who understood security systems inside and out, and they used that knowledge to extort businesses. The Black Cat ransomware group, also known as ALPHV, has been one of the most destructive ransomware operations in recent years, targeting everyone from healthcare systems to critical infrastructure. And now we know that at least 2 insiders helped them do it. Here's why this matters to you. If even cybersecurity experts can be compromised or corrupted, it shows just how sophisticated and tempting these criminal operations have become. It also means that the people attacking your systems might understand them better than you do. For business owners, this is a wake-up call. You can't just assume that because you hired an IT person or a security consultant, you're automatically safe. You need to actually verify. In fact, third-party verification is necessary. It's something that we offer here at Faster PC. You need actually third-party oversight and a trustworthy partner. But hold on, because the insider threat gets even worse. We'll come back to that in a minute. Remember LastPass? That was the password manager that millions of people trusted and still do trust to keep their digital lives secure. Well, in 2022, LastPass suffered a major breach. At the time, the company downplayed it. In fact, they said that they weren't breached. And then 6 months later, they said, well, we were breached, but they didn't get any data. And then about 6 months later after that, they said, well, you know what? They got everyone's password. I mean, this was really huge, and we've gone over how it happened. It actually happened because they allowed a remote worker to use his own computer, and he was using software that, you know the old phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The software that he was using had actually nothing to do with his remote work, or nothing to do with his work at LastPass, but it actually had a security flaw. And because everything was working with that program, he didn't patch it, he didn't update it, and you know what? There was a patch that was applied 30 versions before his that would have solved the problem and kept LastPass from being breached. But lo and behold, LastPass was breached. And fast forward to this week, we're learning that the breach is still causing damage. Why? Because some people, even though they know LastPass, they were using LastPass and LastPass was breached, they still didn't change their passwords. I mean, that is ridiculous. You've got to change your passwords if you're involved in a situation where a company that you trusted was breached. You have to change your passwords and make sure that you're also using unique, complex passwords. You can do that with a password manager. I wouldn't suggest that you use LastPass. Security researchers have now traced recent cryptocurrency theft attacks directly back to the 2022 LastPass breach. Hackers got their hands on encrypted password vaults, and over the past 3 years, they've been cracking them one by one, stealing crypto wallets and digital assets. Think about that. A breach that from 3 years ago is still actively hunting people today and hurting people today. This is why the aftermath of a data breach can be just as dangerous as the breach itself. If you used LastPass or haven't changed your password since 2022, you need to do that immediately. And if you're storing cryptocurrency, consider moving it to new wallets with fresh credentials. But here's the bigger lesson. We often think of cyber attacks as one-time events. Someone breaks in, you patch the hole, you move on. But modern attacks are like slow-burning fires. They can smolder for years before erupting into full-blown disasters. And speaking of disasters, that took time to unfold. This week, authorities arrested a hacker responsible for distributing KMS Auto malware software that promised to activate Windows and Microsoft Office for free. Sounds harmless enough, right? Free software activations. Wrong. This campaign infected 28 million computers worldwide. Let me put that into perspective. That's roughly the entire population of Texas. You know, you don't mess with Texas, and everything's big in Texas. You probably have heard that. Even the population is big in Texas. 28 million people downloaded what they thought was a helpful tool, and instead, excuse me, they got malware that could steal their data, spy on their activities, and turn their computers into weapons for further attacks. This is a perfect example of something we see all the time, people looking for shortcuts online and ending up with massive security problems. Free software, pirated programs, sketchy downloads. Really, you're taking a risk, a big risk. If you're a business owner, you need to make sure your employees aren't downloading unauthorized software on work computers. And if you're a home user, remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And while 28 million is a staggering number, there's an even bigger vulnerability affecting potential hundreds of thousands of systems right now. So stay with me. Okay, the next one is technical, but stay with me because it's critical. There's a vulnerability called MongoBleed affecting MongoDB servers. That's database software used by countless businesses to store everything from customer information to financial records. The flaw allows hackers to leak sensitive data, including passwords and authentication secrets. Here's the scary part. 87,000 servers are currently exposed to this vulnerability. And it's not just a theoretical threat. Hackers are actively exploiting it right now. In fact, CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, just ordered a federal agency to patch this flaw immediately because it's being used in active attacks. If you're a business that uses MongoDB, or if you're working with a vendor who does, you need to verify that this vulnerability has been patched. This is one of those situations where you can't afford to wait. And speaking of government warnings, remember what I said about an insider threat story that gets worse. Here it is. A former Coinbase support agent was just arrested for helping hackers steal cryptocurrency from customer accounts. This person had legitimate access to customers' information as part of their job and used that information to coordinate thefts with criminal hackers. This follows a pattern where we're seeing more and more insiders with legitimate access becoming the biggest security threat. Whether it's the cybersecurity experts helping Black Cat ransomware or this Coinbase employee helping hackers, the common thread is that the people with the keys to the kingdom are sometimes the ones letting the criminals in. For businesses, this means you need more than just external security measures. You need internal controls, monitoring, and the principle of least privileges, which means only giving people access to specific information they need to do their job. But it's not just insiders you need to worry about. There are some incredibly clever attacks targeting everyday computer users right now. Let me tell you about three particular sneaky attacks making the rounds. First, the Glassworm malware targeting Mac users through fake cryptocurrency wallets. If you've downloaded any crypto wallet software recently, especially from unofficial sources, your Mac might be infected. Second, there's a new service called Air Traffic that creates fake browser error messages. You'll see what looks like a legitimate error from Chrome or Firefox. And when you follow the instructions to fix it, you're actually installing malware. These attacks are called ClickFix, and they're incredibly convincing. Third, and this one is aimed at businesses, there are browser extensions called Zoom stealers that are harvesting intelligence from corporate Zoom meetings, recording transcripts and chat messages, everything. You know what? If this sounds a little bit too complex for you, maybe you're like, hey, this is really scary. You need a trusted partner, someone that you can trust, and someone that can actually employ third-party cybersecurity threats or third-party cybersecurity testing, and that's a Faster PC. Give us a call today, 772-878-5978, and let us secure your network.
We're coming to the end of today's show, but if you've missed any part of this show, want to listen to or watch it again, or want to be an influencer and share it with your friends, head over to our website at fasterpc.com. In the very top of the page, right in the middle, you'll see a red button that says Live Technical Support. Click on that button. On the left-hand side, you'll see various ways that you can schedule a Faster PC technician for remote, in-shop, or on-site support. On the right-hand side, you'll see various ways that you can listen to or watch a Faster PC live technical support, including our live streams on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, where you'll not only be able to hear the show, but also see it as well. We also have links to our YouTube videos page, where you can watch segments of our show, and our YouTube Shorts page, where you can watch little snippets of a Faster PC live technical support. And we have a link where you can actually submit questions and topics for us to cover in a future show or video, including what you may want to watch without cable TV. We want to invite you to listen to our church radio show tomorrow morning here on WPSL at 10 a.m. You can hear other sermons on our church website, covenanttabernacle.com, and our church's YouTube channel, Covenant Tabernacle World Outreach Center. We're open today until 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, we're open 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. If you have computer technical, streaming, or cybersecurity problems,
You need a faster PC.
Visit
www.fasterpc.com.
that's fasterpc.com, or call a Faster PC today at 772-878-5978. And remember, when you have or want to prevent computer, technical, streaming, or cybersecurity problems,
Don't you know by now you need a faster PC?
Happy New Year. At this time of the year, many reflect on the past year, where we are, where God wants us to be, and plan to make changes to help us move closer to the mark God has set for us. This year, ask God to examine you, show you where you need to change, and help you make those changes. With God's help, this year can be your best year ever.
WPSL Port St. Lucie.